again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. And if there's anybody on this planet who needs a little dose of common sense, it's Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf. You've probably seen the footage. You've probably seen it over and over again. You've heard the rhetoric that's around it. DK Metcalf on Sunday on a nationally televised game against the Detroit Lions, which had one of the wackiest finishes you'll ever see, had an altercation with a fan that presumably he has history with. Metcalf, well, let's just show you what Metcalf did. Here is a 36-second image of the incident. Don't call DK DeKalen because he will pop you and he'll make you a millionaire.
New Jersey! Hey, DK, don't sign it! DK, don't sign it! DK! He about to throw that motherfucker away. Man! He knows he has to play. Hey, DK! DK! Yup! New Jersey!
So there you have it. A fan now identified as Ryan Kennedy, and I think he's like one of these sick, mentally ill people. He looks like a one of these trannies. I saw a picture of him. If that's him, supposedly confronted DK Metcalf in his Seattle Seahawk days, and these two have a history together. DK Metcalf apparently remembers this guy, and he refers to DK Metcalf by his birth name of DeKalen Zacharias, whatever. And this apparently busts Metcalf's balls to no end. And it busts his balls to the point where he is facing DK Metcalf some major, and I mean major, money issues if this suspension is upheld. According to Adam Schefter, and let's get that up here. Oh, no, I don't want that. Jesus Christ, I hate when that happens. I'll read it to you because for some reason I can't get it to pop up. More about the NFL suspending Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf due to the altercation. DK Metcalf's 2-game suspension could cost him $277,778 per game, over $555,000 for the 2 games. That's if the suspension is upheld. Here is the big news to me. Ian Rappaport reports that the 2-game suspension for DK Metcalf could be costly if upheld. Based on his current contract, the suspension would void not just the rest of his salary for the season, but a $45 million in future guarantees, $25 million fully guaranteed in 2026, and $20 million guaranteed for injury in 2027. That's to the tone, my friends, of $90 fucking million because this guy couldn't control himself. Real men worry not about the chirping of crickets, right? The lion doesn't care what the sheep has to say. And when you're making the type of money this guy makes for playing fucking football, you know what? Put something in your ear to block out the rabbit ears. Be a man. Stop being a fucking girl and reacting to everything. And you would think that these retired former professional athletes would agree with my take. Oh, no. Of course, we know who the parties are. Here is one of the sickest people you'll ever see on TV. This guy's a clown. Cam Newton, the guy who fumbled the football in the Super Bowl and didn't bother to pick it up. He is here, and he's explaining why DK Metcalf was in the right.
Fans must understand, you are free to say and act however you want to act. But these players that you are a fan of or that you are rooting against, they're still human beings. It's a sporting event. This is not the zoo. Watch this. Watch this. This ain't Barnum and Bailey Soul Circus, big dog. This lion bite for real. Verbal abuse is real. There's a line here. You don't get to just tell me what you think of me without it having any consequences and repercussions. Some people's threshold is a little different. You don't mention family, you don't mention children or death. Those lines right there, you're getting too personal. We need to start implementing buffers of real people that not just react when, hey, security, but if you got security, it's too late. The security need to already, hey, hold on. So now you have a person around the player area, the bench.
Because if somebody was there, they would have stopped. Like, hey, hold on, what's going on, DK? And then
don't even worry about it. Hey, coach, hey, let's get him. I got him. Yeah. Man, that's flagrant. Matter of fact, hey, come on, get your stuff. So yeah, man, we got to really do better, or ask for the leagues to do better for fan and player protection. Because if they do not, there's going to be something not this week, not next week, but sooner down the road where somebody's going to say the fan said something and the player reacted.
That is your typical female response. This guy's a clown. He's a psychopath, but that is the typical female response. That's how a woman would answer something. A man would say, hey, ignore it. The guy is just a fan. First off, I've been to hundreds of sporting events, Super Bowls, NCAA Final Fours, all that shit, World Series. I practically lived in Yankee Stadium. And some of the things you would hear coming out of these fans' mouth was absurd. And I never was into that. I never delved into that. I think it's stupid. I think, you boo, you do all that. But the fans pay a tremendous price to go to these games. And if the players can't handle the abuse, quit. Go fucking make pizza somewhere. Because that's what going on the road and playing in hostile environments means. It doesn't mean the weather. It doesn't mean the stadium. It doesn't mean the opposing team. When you go on the road and you go into a place like Oakland used to be, or Denver used to be, Buffalo, Philadelphia, it's a hostile territory because the fans are loud, obnoxious, crude, and they come after you. You think Joe Montana didn't get yelled at? You think Dan Marino or John Elway didn't get told where to stick things up their orifices? You don't think so? But now it's a problem. It's only a problem because the players are going up to these fans and smacking them around, just like Lamar Jackson did, a couple of months ago? Or a month ago? It seems so long ago. If you're a player, you're supposed to be concentrating on the fucking game, not what the fans are telling you, not what the fans are saying. Now, there is some talk outside of the DK Metcalf, I guess his team, his entourage, that this man used racial terms. Called him a ninja, called his mother a see you next Tuesday. As of right now, in the video that we showed you, as of right now, there's been no evidence of such claims. But of course, this is a white fan, black player. We have to make it racial. And our good friend Ryan Clark, the race card Ryan, He comes out and he also says that, hey, we need more protection for these players. You know, UEFA, maybe about 10 years ago, black soccer players were walking off the field in tears because they just couldn't handle, especially in Italy and in Spain, the ridicule and abuse, the songs, because they sing songs over there. 50,000 people are singing songs about you, and it's loud. And they would sing songs about black players and how they're from Africa and they swing from trees and they would make monkey sounds. And these black players just couldn't handle it. They would walk off the field. UEFA bent. And they started to have these things called dark games or fanless games where the stadiums would be empty and the players would play there. Will that happen in the NFL? I don't think so. Because if it does, you have to reimburse the fans all the fans their money back. And the owners don't want to do that. I don't think the owners will do that at all. So what do you do to protect these players? First of all, the players don't need any protection. The player is approaching, as you saw, the fan. That guy is mentally ill. He's busting DK Metcalf's balls by calling him by his government name. He's asking for an autograph for his on his jersey, which is probably busting his balls even more in DK Metcalf's mind. It's the fan that was assaulted, not the other way around. But these players, and listen, they're jocks. They're half retarded anyway. They don't see that. They don't come out and say, hey, man, you got to be the bigger person. You got to just ignore it. You know what? You should be concentrating on the next offensive series, not what the fans are saying. No, they don't say that. Again, if you want to get down to idiocy and moronic commentary, you just look to Cam Newton and our good friend Ryan Clark.
Upset with one. Yeah, like the player in me wants to say no, right? The player in me wants to say that if a fan is behaving in a certain way and you feel like that's something that has to be checked, you can do it, but that's not real life. Of course. Right? That's not the standard you're held to when you get to wear that logo on your helmet or you have that NFL patch on your jersey, and they are going to protect the shield. It's one thing when you see a Jamar Chase spit on a Jalen Ramsey, right? And how disgusting that could be, how disrespectful that could be. But those are two players who are two men who are the same. Yeah. Those fans aren't the same. Yeah. Those fans pay to come to this game, and they pay to be able to say stupid things. Now, what the league has to do is say, this is how we're going to safeguard you against that. The same way they do in basketball, there should be a way where you can go talk to somebody and say, this person said such and such. I don't feel comfortable continuing to do my job if they're here.
That's a great point, because I don't think that's talked enough about in NFL locker rooms and in NFL teams. Yeah. What is the process and protocol for dealing with a fan that is out of line?
Particularly if
he's that close, he's right there.
Well, it has been reported to the point you made earlier. This is someone who is a serial sort of, I don't stalker, I don't know if that's the right word, but this is someone who has clearly tried to instigate on several occasions and now succeeded.
Yeah. Marcus made a point to me inside that I thought was good, and maybe he said you had to walk over.
That's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem. You initiated it, regardless of what we know that the talking and the heckling supposedly is supposed to be the part that initiated it, but we're not talking about we don't know the fan name.
Right.
We're talking about DK Metcalf, and it always is going to end up that way. We got kids that play sports. RC got a son in the NFL right now. Listen, man, as hard as it is, you are going to lose. You are going to lose. Let the people handle that.
So there's a bit of sanity there by I forget this guy's name. Who cares? But what are you supposed to do if you're the NFL? The NFL doesn't give a shit about the player. We certainly know they don't give a shit about the fan. They care about the badge. And the NFL is going to protect what keeps that badge filled with cash. They're not going to throw fans out of games just because a fan calls you a fat ass. In the NBA, and they have a major problem, players will say, that guy over there said something to me, I want him out, and security will take him out. Well, fans are starting to rebel against this, and they're starting to call lawsuits because this is a freedom of speech thing here. I can criticize you on your play if you suck tonight. I'm paying good money to watch you suck. That's not That's not how it should be. And these players want that type of treatment in the NFL. I don't think it's gonna last for them. It's not conceivable. The fan is there to cheer you and to boo you. I'm not saying the fan is there to threaten you with violence or to throw shit at you. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Make the fan pay by you putting up two or three touchdowns and winning that game. And let me tell you something. How come the fan doesn't get any sort of protection when these players, most notably the players who look like this guy, anytime they make a play or anytime they score a touchdown, they start to dance and wiggle and do all sorts of stupid shit? How many times have we seen players at the garbage time of games, especially if they're on the road, turning to the opposing team's home fans and ridiculing, mocking them? We don't see that. Those players aren't guilty of that. If you can't dish it out, don't start it either. Don't be a bitch. And that's what these players are. They're multi-million-dollar bitches. Now, Metcalf's team here, it's been suggested that he has accused this guy, Ryan Kennedy, of using, of course, a racial term, calling him the N-word, if you wanted to use it, and calling his mother a "see you next Tuesday." Well, Ryan Kennedy has obtained counsel. And the NFL, who said that Metcalf violated league policy, specifying that players may not enter the stands or otherwise confront fans at any time on game day. Well, he's also come out, and it seems like he may have slandered this guy with these claims. This guy, Ryan Kennedy, strongly disagrees with the version that became the subject of multiple media reports that he's planning to sue one or more parties. Via Brooke Pryor of ESPN.com, the fan who Metcalf grabbed and tried to punch has retained counsel who have issued a strong statement contradicting reports regarding the fan's role in the situation. Sean Heed and Sean Murphy of Heed Murphy Law Firm called out the allegations of inappropriate comments by Ryan Kennedy, their client, quote, completely false. According to Heed, quote, Ryan Kennedy categorically denies using the N-word and C-word or any racial, misogynistic, or hate-based slur during the incident. The claim, continue quote, the claim suggests otherwise are untrue and not supported by video evidence, eyewitness accounts, or contemporaneous reporting. Despite reports in the media last night and today, Mr. Kennedy has not used such language during the interaction with Metcalf or any other players in the past. The problem with DK Metcalf is he has no evidence of any of this happening. And if he has somebody on his team or some of these reps that he might have quoting this, saying this, and the media is quoting and saying this, and we know people like Ryan Clark and all these dudes out there, they all love to race bait. They are putting themselves in huge jeopardy with this. And maybe this is a good thing. So it finally ends. And ESPN should really end this with these guys. Fire them all. Get rid of them. They suck anyway. The statement continues to mention in the final paragraph that, quote, this matter will now likely be subject to a formal legal proceedings. Kennedy can sue Metcalf for assault and battery. He was not obviously injured, which means that the damage is likely to be very low. However, the statement of Kennedy's lawyers make it clear that a defamation lawsuit is being considered possibly against Metcalf, whoever leaked Metcalf's version to the media. This is such a black eye on the NFL. And it's such a terrible thing. This all could have been avoided. You know what you do? Give the guy the finger. Or just, tell him to kiss your ass or whatever. There's no reason to approach him. And now, DK Metcalf, if you come back to the NFL, and he will, when he walks into any opposing stadium, they're going to scream out that full name to bust his balls to no end. That's why real men stay silent, because silence, as the Stoics say, is power. This costs DK Metcalf a whole fucking hill of beans. It costs him money. It's going to cost him a lot more money than the $550,000 he's losing for the suspension if it's upheld. This is now going to drag into court unless there's a settlement. This is embarrassing to the Steelers. It's embarrassing to the NFL. And the NFL isn't going to do anything to upset the apple cart with these fans. Because I'll tell you, when you don't have fans, you don't have money. And that's what the NFL loves more than anything. They love money. And DK Metcalf should not have worried about the color of his skin or the color of the fan's skin. The only color he should be worried about is the one that's in his pocket, and that's green. It's time for these dudes to grow up. And there's my 2 cents on Mr. DK Metcalf and Ryan Kennedy, who seems like a nut job in himself. Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Remember, my friend, Satan is always busy, even this time of year. Be a man and have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. And just remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. We'll see you tomorrow, Christmas Eve. Bye.